Hello, good evening. How is everyone doing? Now, it is a super rainy day in London, Ontario. It is 4 minutes after 6. Made some really good food for my boys for dinner. And now I have time to discuss what we spoke about yesterday. So today's topic is the difference between energy and spirits. It was a question that somebody asked, and I told you guys that I took time to just do my research so I can elaborate on what it is. And if you're tuned in, just simply get comfortable, and it's going to be a serious topic. So I'm going to give people a few minutes to get on board or tune in or come check out the podcast. If you're not tuned in yet, come on board. Okay? And we will be discussing the difference between energy and spirits. All right? So today I'm not really dressed up. I'm just wearing a very nice pink Paris. It's like a shirt, okay? Or a blouse, whatever you want to call it. And it's just the Eiffel Tower. And my matching pink earrings, my black lips, because it's a very gloomy, dark day today. So I didn't really feel like dressing up. I just felt like be myself. Thank you, Ivy. And thank you, Joseph, for tuning in. So the topic today is very, very simple. We're discussing the difference between energy and spirits. So the first thing I would like to answer is, what is energy? Okay. And obviously the answer is going to be based off of scientifically what energy is. So if you're tuned in, let's go right to the topic. All right. What is energy? Okay. What is energy? Energy, by scientists, is a force, motion, or the ability to do work, and work in moving something against force. So I'll say it again. In science, energy is motion. It is also a steady force. And when someone says steady force, it's something that is constantly moving. It is a steady force, okay? And it works like gravity. There's a lot of different kinds of energy, okay, in the universe. There's good energy and there's bad energy. Now, just by knowing science and going to school or studying science, you know that there is different forms of energy. And in science, they teach you the different kinds there is. Energy can be found in many things, okay? And when I say many things, it's the same as finding energy in a dog, finding energy in a person, finding energy in food, finding energy in your surrounding, and finding energy in electricity or something like molecules or whatever you want to call it. But in science, we all know what energy is. It is a moving force, okay? A steady force, motion, the energy. It's the ability to do work. And the universe does break down different kinds of energy for us. There's kinetic energy, and I'll explain that later on. But we have like scientific equations that really calculates what energy is, so we can know. So if you're just tuning in, today's topic is, what is the difference between energy and spirit? Now, like I said, there's different kinds of energy. You can find energy in food, you can find energy in fossil fuel, you can find energy in electricity, and you can find energy in your daily surroundings or your daily environment. Energy is in plants, it's in animals, it's in us, it is in the environment. How you can detect what a good energy is you feel it, okay? Spiritually talking, when somebody has a good energy, right away you connect with the person. You know what I mean? It's like using science and using your minus and your plus. Okay? When you have a positive energy and you draw positive energy to you, it is very, very easy for you to connect with like-minded people, because what you are doing, that your energy is a force, a moving force, constantly in motion, and naturally, by law or the law of attraction, you attract like-minded or like energies to you. Now, some people have the ability to repel negative energy, and these are the people that have a force. And when I say a force, it's a force that cannot be stopped. It's a force that you can't get in between. It's a force that you can't stand in the way. So when somebody has a huge magnitude of positive energy, you're unstoppable. It is very, very difficult for any negative source to stop you, because what happens is you go through the negative force, or you go through the negative energy, and you become, or probably even turn that person into a negative and positive energy as well. So everybody know the law of conservation of energy. If you went to high school, or if you're educated, like, everybody knows. Okay, so I'll read what the law of conservation energy is. Okay, the law of conservation energy states that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It is only transformed from one form to the other, as well as transferred from one body to the other, and it remains the same. So that's what I was trying to tell you guys, that energy is something very, very serious. And if somebody has taken time to build themselves positively and has grown themselves to be a positive force, it is very, very difficult, okay, for any negativity or any negative energy to stop you, because you're unstoppable. Okay, you cannot be destroyed, nor can you be created. You know what I mean? You're this energy or this force or this moving force that is unstoppable. So I'm going to read it again. The laws of conservation energy. The law of conservation energy states that energy cannot be created. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It is only transformed from one form to the other, or to another, as well as transferred from one body to the other. So that is the scientific explanation of what conservation energy is. And once you've built your positive energy and you've conserved this energy, like I said, you are indestructible, and no one can recreate who you are. Okay? Nobody. So that is what I was talking about when I said it is good to be positive or stay electric, because we are electric beings. Naturally, we're supposed to be on the positive side of things and not the negative. So when you surround yourself or find yourself in the wrong energy, you start to drain yourself, and you start to transform and become this negative energy. So what I say is, be electric. Okay? Be electric beings. This is just naturally who you are. You are meant to stay warm. You're meant to conserve your positive energy. Naturally, you have the ability to destroy all negative energy. Okay? So if you're just tuning in, we're talking about the difference between energy and spirits. This is a question that one of my followers asked me, and I took my time to really do my research before I come and talk about it, because I don't want to give the wrong information. You can also do the research yourself and find out the meaning or what energy is. Okay, so I'm going to keep reading so you guys can have more understanding of what energy is. Energy helps us to work, go places. Energy helps us to communicate and live more comfortably. We need energy to survive. in our daily life, okay, we are now this humans, or this type of humans, where we can't even survive without electricity. So that is also another source of energy. You know, we live in Canada. You got to stay warm. You got to heat up your food. You got to keep your body warm in order to survive and do your daily activities. Not only that, it keeps you positive. When somebody has a positive energy, they're constantly speaking positive into people's life, speaking positive into their life. And like I said, it is a moving force, a force that cannot be stopped. So naturally, you are always moving, always. Okay? So that is my explanation of energy. And I'm going to go through energy in spiritual ways. Sometimes people have this thing around them called aura. And people can sometimes like read people, read their environment. Hold on 1 second, please. Why do you always do that? I'm doing my podcast. No. Sorry about that, guys. That's my son asking me. So basically, back to the energy. So people have the ability to read the aura around people. Somebody can look at someone and say, oh, this person doesn't have a good aura. Or this person doesn't have a good energy. It is just who we are as human beings. Your conscience does not lie. Your gut feeling does not lie. So if your gut feeling is telling you that somebody in your surrounding, or someone or something in the space that you're in is making you feel uneasy, making you feel like you shouldn't be where you're at, trust yourself. Remove yourself from that person, or remove yourself from those people, because what they are trying to do is either change who you are or contaminate, or how the energy explanation that, you know, it cannot be created, but it can be transferred from one person to the other. Now, there's also the spirit of energy. That's where the spirit comes in. It can be transferred. Okay? It's a good thing that we know that energy is something that is a moving force. So having that knowledge, we have to always understand that energy can come in so many ways and so many things. And if it's a moving force, it is constantly moving. And if you open yourself and give that person the opportunity, or that entity, or that person, that energy, the ability to come into your body or come into your space, what they do then is they consume you, they take on you, they get into you, or they transform into yourself, or into you. Okay, so you want to be careful the energy that you surround yourself around. If you have somebody around you and I'm telling you, you're feeling like this person shouldn't be with you, or you shouldn't be in that person's space, remove yourself. Remove yourself, because the gut feeling never lies. The gut feeling never lies. I used to be, oh, you know, maybe I should give that person a chance and see what happens. And in the long run, I'm telling you, you're going to be drained of your energy. And it's going to take you a long time for you to rebuild back your energy. So just understand that it's a moving force. If you don't conserve it, if you don't take care of it, if you don't do the right things, feed it, nourish it, you have the ability to lose it. So be careful the energy that you're allowed into your space. All right? So I'm going to talk about electrical energy so people know the difference. I'm not just talking about, you know, conservative energy, kinetic energy, and all that other stuff. I'm talking right now about electrical energy. So electrical energy is used to power things. It's the same. The energy in your body is used to power yourself. If you wake up and you don't have any energy, you're lazy, you're laid back, you don't feel like really getting up and doing anything. It's the same as electrical energy. Okay? It is what is powering our computers, our TVs, our fridges, our vacuum cleaners. In the same, if I relate it into body, it is what is powering your vision. It is what is powering your mouth. It is what is powering your ability to get up and do for yourself. So if you don't have energy, or you have allowed somebody to drain all your energy, then understand that you are not able. Okay? You are not able. So we have to respect our energy, and we have to respect the people that we choose to share our space and our energy with. Okay? Sometimes you got to be so selective that a lot of people will say, oh, you know why you think all that, blah, blah, blah. Well, let me tell you, it takes a long time to conserve a positive energy. And it takes a long time to get to the level where you can detect the ill energy, the sick energy, the evil energy from good energy. It's a long time for you to be able to build that knowledge for yourself. So if anyone has an issue with how you're being or how you're protecting the energy that you got, don't let it bother you. Don't let it bother you at all. Because it took time for you to get where you are at. Okay? Now I'm going to continue with the reading. I'm going to a little bit about the electricity. Like I said, it's the same. It's powering our TV and powering our computers and everything. It's the same as you having right energy and I'm going to go to work. I'm going to read a little bit about fossil fuel, okay? This energy helps to work, go places, communicate, live comfortably. The concept of energy is one of the most important in science. And we know this. We know this. Without the right energy, like I said, you're pretty much disabled. Without the right energy, you cannot do anything. The definition of energy is to be able... Thank you, Isaac, for tuning in. Okay, the definition of energy is to be able, like I said, is to be able to connect. Okay, so maybe I spoke about conservation of energy. And I spoke about the law of conservation, so you know how you can conserve your energy. So if you don't do the right things, an example is if you're eating food that is going to drain your energy, then you are going to be definitely weak. If you're going to surround yourself with people that are going to drain your energy, then you're going to be a weak person. Now, the reason why energy is something that cannot be stopped is because it's just like your body. You're constantly moving. You're an electric being. You have to have energy for you to be up. You have to have energy for your eyes to be open. And you have to have energy to be able to do your daily activities, contribute to, your community, do things for your children. And I spoke about the different forms of energy. There's light energy. There's heat energy. There is mechanical energy, and there is gravitational energy. Now, I'm going to explain this from not the scientific way, but just using the body as an example. Light energy, okay? Light energy is when you see the good in people. That's light. You know this person is a good person. This person has such an amazing energy. We say that all the time. We're natural people. We're people, and we can read our surroundings. So you can't deny what the person is giving you. If that person is giving you something that is not of a source that you can't understand, right away you dismiss the person or you dismiss yourself. So let's be real. Let's keep it real. Okay? We can read ourselves. We can read our environments. We can read the people. And the heat energy is when you're healing. In the body, if you want to heal somebody, you have to have heat energy because that is the ability to heal people, okay? Gravitational energy is when you can draw the good energy to you and repel the bad energy from your space, okay? And then there's sound energy. Now, a lot of people talk about, sounds don't matter. Well, sound probably spiritually is one of the biggest form of energy that we need to study and we need to understand. When your mouth starts to form a sound, okay, not only does it take a form of energy for that sound to form, But once the sound is released out of your mouth, it takes a life form. You say something, the word may never hurt me. Well, for me as a writer, I believe that words can hurt, words can kill, words can live, and words can destroy. So I choose to use the right sound or the right form of words into my life and into the lives of everyone that I love. Yeah, you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Sometimes, yes, you get angry. You might see some wrong things, but I'm telling you, come to yourself. Here we go. So come into yourself and understand that the sounds you make take life forms of its own. You can curse and heal with the sound of your voice. You can destroy with the sound of your voice. That's why sometimes people will say, oh, the music industry is full of evil and the sound that we're hearing are supposed to mess us up. In the ancient times, okay, before Christ, sound was what the Egyptians used to communicate from one place to the next. You can have an African brother in Egypt and you can have another brother in Europe. And how they communicate was with sound. And the sounds was made through the similar things that we have now that we're calling telephones and whatever. And there's another thing, if you don't believe me, you just Google vortex. Vortex is an ancient way of time traveling. And they will vortex themselves using their energy from one place to the next. So this is the power of energy and this is the power of sound. So sound energy to me is very, very important. The sounds you form and speak into your life and the sounds you form and speak into the lives of others really, really do matter. It can heal them, it can kill them, and it can make them a better person. So it's your choice. Like I said, energy is a big deal. Very, very big deal. So choose the right sound energy and you will be sound within yourself. When we have peace within, okay, there will be peace in all nations. But first you got to have peace within. It's the same as using the sound energy. I spoke about heat energy. I spoke about gravitational energy. I spoke about light energy. And now we're talking about sound energy. Okay. There is also chemical energy. Of course, you guys know this. And there is also nuclear and atomic energy. All these energies, like I said, is all a moving force. And they can transform and they can enter, just like how a spirit can enter your space. All right. So now back to the definition of what a spirit is. I believe I elaborated a little bit more on the energy. I'll come back to it again if you're just tuning in. Oh, somebody said it's choppy. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe it's my connection. Okay, so we were talking about energy, the difference between energy and spirit. So the first thing that we spoke about is what energy is, what conservation energy is, what types of energies are there, and feel free to replay the video to find out what I was talking about. So now I'm just going to move on to gravitational energy. Now, gravitational energy, if I'm saying it in the form of humans or whatever, it is what you gravitate to. And naturally, positive energies or positive beings, which I have to let everyone know that we are all energies on our own. I'm my own energy, you're your own energy. Everybody is an energy of some sort. And we gravitate, we draw in people that we want to be around. Okay? Sometimes I'm saying this for the sisters to understand. We draw in the wrong type of men. And the man did not look for you. You drew that person in. You brought that person to you because you were thinking these things, you're imagining these things, you're saying, oh yeah, I want a bad ass man. And when the person comes, you're like, oh God, why did you give me this person? Blah, blah, blah. But really, you don't understand that you took time, communicated to the universe, and drew that person's energy to your energy. And now the person is in your space and you're bothered and you're complaining. Meanwhile, you asked God, or you asked your higher power, which is your dome, and you were thinking of this. And when the person came into your space, now you're complaining. Well, that's what gravitational energy is. Gravitational energy is what you gravitate towards. And we have the ability to gravitate towards the wrong things, and we have the ability to gravitate towards the right things. But if you are on the right level of your energy and you're feeding yourself with the right source of energy, the right source of food, the right source of everything, and you're aligned spiritually, you will gravitate towards somebody who is just like yourself. You will gravitate towards someone who is absolutely just like yourself. Now, nobody is perfect, and we are all pushing and striving to be better people, better beings. But when you have the knowledge and you have the understanding of what an energy is, and what you can do to bring yourself into the right space or into the right environment, why not do it? You can eat the right energy. You can be in the right space of energy. You can gravitate towards the right energy. So why don't we do that? All right, moving on. I'm going to share a little bit. Yes, I did speak about the different types of energy. So right now, I'm gonna go to what is a spirit. And then we will do our own differences and we'll compare. If you have questions, please feel free to ask them below. And if you're just tuning in, the topic today is about the difference between a spirit and energy. And I already spoke about what energy is. So right now we're moving on so everybody can get the information. What is a spirit? Here we go. Now, this one is a difficult one, I must say. In the English word, okay, a spirit is like a breath. And I don't know how I can explain what a breath is in English words. I don't know. Maybe if it was African, I'll be able to explain it easier. But first off, let's consider the soul. You may remember in the Bible, originally written in Hebrew and in Greek. And it talks about the word nafiske. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but this word is supposed to mean soul. And a lot of times I think we get soul and spirit confused, but that will be another topic. Okay? But most of the time when it comes to spirit, the first thing we think about is our soul. So I'm going to try to break it down in a simpler form and not get so biblical. Because it's one of those things that you can't really explain without getting biblical. All right. So primary, there's two kinds of spirits. The soul and the spirit. It does get a little bit confusing. I'm going to try to rethink what I want to say and put it in the right words. Okay. A spirit is light. And scientifically, if somebody says or tries to explain what light is, we know that light travels at its own speed. first off, what I know personally about spirits is that a spirit is like something that it's the unseen. It's something that we cannot see. A spirit does not have a body of its own. And a spirit is always looking for an entity, a person, a place, somewhere, so they can be in control, so they can be working, so they can be using, so they can be doing things, okay? A spirit is, oh, this is a deep one for me, you guys. It's not easy. A spirit could be believed. A spirit, it's like, okay, let me use the example of God. God is a spirit that has never been seen. And people that are Christians or religious will probably come online and try to argue with me. But we need to face reality. Come on, people. Have you ever seen God? Have you ever seen him face to face? No. But we believe in him or her. We believe it. Yes, I believe a spirit is like a breath or light. And it is not seen. But it can be heard and it can be felt. Okay? Many people that are spiritual believe that there are different levels of spirituality. And there are different realms of spirituality. And it takes a focused worship. And it takes discipline. And it takes education. And it takes meditation for you to get to the higher realm of your spirituality. Okay? There are some immortal souls. And when I say immortal soul, it is an immortal spirit. It does not die. It lives on. It lives on. It lives on and on and on. And in comparing spirit to energy, if you have a weak energy, then you are opening yourself for spirits to possess you. Mind you, there are good energy and bad energy out there. It's the same with the spirit. There are good spirits and bad spirits out there. And how you worship, how you meditate, how you cleanse of your iniquities, your sins, is how you are going to be. So you can believe me or not, but I'm just going by my research. An example, and I'm going to do an example because somebody can die. And yes, that person is dead. We know we buried the person. They're gone. We're not going to see them again. But let me tell you something. Even though the person is dead, their spirit lives on. Their spirit lives on. It's the same when we talk about Jesus died and rose from the dead. Right? He died and he rose and he went up into the heavens. Well, I wasn't there when Jesus died, but I know the Bible is written in a form of a lot of idioms. And if you know what an idiom is, it's grown folks talk or grown folks language. And you just don't interpretate it wrong. If you don't have an understanding for it, please don't be a pastor, don't be a preacher, don't be a reverend. You have to have a divine understanding and knowledge of what is written before you take on the Bible and start interpreting it to people. But to my understanding, the spirit lives on. The body is just a container. And this container can be recycled at any time. So back to energy. If you are of good energy, or if you are of negative energy, it is easy for bad spirits to possess you. The reason why it is easy for the bad spirit to possess you is because your energy is weak, is low. Why do you think demons attack when you are sleeping? Because when you're sleeping, you're asleep. Okay, that is the time that you are in your weakest states. That's why our moms and dads always say, hey, pray before you go to bed. Pray before you go to bed. Say your thank yous before you go to bed, because the demons know that that is your weakest state. And that is the time that they try to get you. So imagine somebody who is constantly a moving force, even when they're sleeping. It is very, very difficult for any weak spirits or demons to come and possess you, because you are full of a moving force. You're full of this energy. You're full of this positive electrons that are constantly surrounding you and protecting you. So this is why it brings me to keeping the body alkaline, eating electric foods, staying in a positive energy zone. It naturally brings your spirit higher and higher, higher into the highest of realm. Now, I did a spiritual study in the past, and I learned that the foods that we eat can bring in or open us up for certain entities to possess us. And people will say, oh my gosh, Anita, you're getting too deep. Well, I'm sorry. This ain't no slumber party. This is real shit. So if you're tuned in and you're listening and I'm affecting you, or I'm saying something that is choking you, do your own research or challenge me. Seriously, just challenge me and tell me what you think of what I'm saying. Because to have a challenge is for me to be able to go deeper into what I'm saying. Okay? What you eat matters. This spiritual study taught me you can't consume an egg after a certain age. You cannot consume certain type of water after a certain age. Some people don't care. They just open the tap water and they drink it. Good for you. That's you. It's okay. A lot of people will say, oh, I bless my food. I'm good. Yes. But are you a believer? You bless your food all the time, but do you truly really believe that your food is blessed? Or you're just saying, I bless my food, so I'm going to eat it. A lot of food possess demonic entities that take life form in our body. And let me tell you, a spirit doesn't have a body. So if you give a spirit the ability to possess you, then that spirit is going to use your body how it wants to use it. I remember one time I went to a certain church. I was very, very young. And this pastor, or so-called pastor, laid his hand on me to pray. After I left the church, I was not the same anymore. And yes, a lot of people be like, oh, it was a church, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. After I left the church, the first thing I wanted to do is go to a strip club, get some alcohol, smoke some weed. And this is because I allowed this person who so claimed to be of God to touch me. And then I came into myself. I came into my body and I'm like, what is happening? Why am I here? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Well, if you are not strong-willed, imagine the many foods and the many people that you have allowed for them to lay their hands on you to pray. Not every person that holds the Bible, okay, is of God. Not everybody that speaks the Lord's words is a Christian. And not every Christian is a real believer. Some of these people just use the word. And some of these people, they're just in the environment. You understand? Some of these people, they just want to feel or look like they are of God. Okay? So, know your energy. Know thy spirit. Now, before you can be of a pure spirit It starts with the food you eat, the sounds you form, the words you speak into your life. And there's something called a spiritual cleansing. I will speak about that another time. But you can naturally do your own spiritual cleanse, okay? At home. And after doing this spiritual cleanse, I'm telling you, you will start to see some sort of action or activity or energies disappearing from your life. And I mean this. People will disappear from your life. They will probably not even call. They will run just by the sound of your voice, because you found who you really truly are, and you have connected to the Most High. You've connected to the higher power. You've connected to your Creator. The purpose of our lives really is to be electric. Okay? Is to share positive energy. Is to continue to transform all the negatives into positive beams. So as I'm saying, and if you're feeling this message and if you're hearing me, be careful of what you put into your mouth. Be careful of who you allow into your space. And be careful of who you call your pastor or the leader of your spirit. Okay, be careful of who you lay down with. Women, I'm going to be very, 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 very blunt and straight with you. Every time you lay down to have sex with a man, you are opening yourself for 7 times 7 times 7 multiplications of the demons that has entered that man from the time he chose to have sex with whoever whatsoever. Nowadays, people don't even have sex with humans. So how do you protect yourself? How do you trust somebody? How do you know the right spirit and the right energy? Well, first I will say you got to start with yourself. And finding yourself, finding your right spirit, and finding the right spiritual foods to consume. Some foods are made to destroy your spirituality. Some foods are made for you to never ever connect to God. And it's as simple as a toothpaste that we use to brush our teeth. Do you know that it's as simple as toothpaste that we use to brush our teeth that is harming us from within, messing our spirits up? You can brush your teeth with a certain type of toothpaste, and I'm telling you, you just feel like you don't even want to go to church anymore. You don't even want to open the Bible. You don't even want to speak any words of positivity, because I'm telling you, as the devil is working, as God is working, so is the devil all the time. And this is how I want you guys to think of this. If the devil was God's right-hand man, take it to your dome. Ain't nothing that the devil cannot do, okay, in the likeness of God. It is up to us to know the difference. And God does not wear Prada. The devil does. I remember being a young child in church, Sunday school, and they used to always say, oh, when God is coming to you, he's never going to come in a nice white suit and nice shoes. He's always going to come in rags. And that was always in my mind. So if I'm outside and a homeless person, okay, a hobo wants to give me a hug, I'm going to give that hobo a hug, because I don't know if that is just somebody pretending just to see my action. Okay? God tests us. The universe tests us. Sometimes we get all the great things, the great energy, the great spirits around us, and we forget that we used to be not of such greatness. We didn't used to be this type of entity. We didn't used to be this type of person. It took you time to get where you're at. So when you're there, educate the ones that don't know. Don't condemn them. Don't condemn them. You're not better than them. Nobody is better than anybody. And I'm gonna say this 100 times for people to get it clear. If you are trying to connect to the higher realm, the higher spirituality, you cannot condemn. You cannot condemn anybody or anything or anyone. Because as you condemn, so could you be. And that person that you're condemning could switch places with you. It could definitely be you. So if you understand the energy transfers, energy transforms, okay? Energy can be light. Energy can be conserved. It's the same with spirit. You can be a good spirit, and you have the ability to be a bad spirit as well. If you don't feed the body the right foods, the right words, surround yourself around the right people, it is very, very easy for any demonic spirit to enter, use, and dispose of you. So be very, 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 very careful. Now, I remember I was telling you guys that there is spirits that don't die. And spirits don't die. Okay? Spirits just use the body and dumps it. And if you have a good spirit, there's good spirits out there too that can possess you for you to do greatness. Okay? There's good spirits out there. So people will talk about cleansing the soul. People will talk about cleansing the spirit, but they don't know how to do these things. That will be another topic on its own. But right now, to conclude what I'm saying, the difference between energy and spirit is very, very similar. Energy comes in many forms, okay? But the spirit is only in two forms. Energy comes in many forms, but the spirit is only in two forms. And I know you guys can figure that out for yourself. The good and the bad. So you choose one bad spirit or a good spirit. With energy, you can choose whatever you want. You can be a good energy, a bad energy, a light energy, a sound energy, a difficult energy, a kinetic energy. But spiritually, you can only choose one for yourself or the other for the devil. So be careful the spirits that you allow in your space. Be careful of the spirits that you eat with, drink with, sleep with. Okay? Be very, very, very careful. In the Bible, the spirit is described as a breath. And it appears 389 times in the Old Testament. And it emphasizes what the spirit is. It emphasizes it in animals, and it also emphasizes it in human. I was having a conversation yesterday on Facebook, and I remember saying that there's some animals or some foods that you consume that you take on the spirit form of this animal and you start to behave like it. But people probably thought I'm crazy, which is okay. I already know that I am crazy. So if you listen to me, you're even crazier than I am. I'm joking. But yeah, you gotta be crazy in order for people to hear you and listen to what you're saying. So if you don't like my craziness, you can always tune out. But I love my crazy. That is what makes me me. And I remember that some spirits were cast into a certain type of animal in the Bible. And a lot of people will make their excuse, oh yeah, God sent all those pigs into the water and they died. So, I can eat pig whenever I feel like. I can have pork chops, I can have bacon, I can have whatever. When you have wisdom, okay, when you have wisdom of the spirit and you have wisdom of what is right and what is good, you know what not to consume. As you are eating it, you know that it ain't good for you. As you are about to eat it, you know this is not something that I should be eating. And right away, you should stop. Because I'm telling you, spiritual beings, all they eat. A spiritual person can even survive off of one leaf and water the whole day. You can research some of those Buddhists and stuff that were meditating, sometimes they meditated for 20 years with only a leaf and water, and they didn't die because they had connected. They had aligned their chakra to a higher being. So the things that they were experiencing and the realm that they were in, it was an experience that they cannot explain on earth, because they weren't even on earth. They were gone. They were gone somewhere else, making things, doing things, probably cheersing and having some really nice wine with some really good people. So that is the difference between energy and spirit. Whoever asked the question, I hope I answered you. And I hope that everybody that tuned in today got something good out of this message that I am sharing. There are great living souls out there, and there are a lot of evil spirits dead and gone. How you live your life, okay, is what is going to determine what spirit possesses you. What you leave yourself open to is what is going to determine what possesses you. Okay, so be a good living being. And once your being is over, you can be a strong spirit in another realm of life. And if you don't take care of your being on earth, then definitely you wouldn't be able to take care of your spirit in the spirit world. It is very simple. Everybody has one body. We're getting implants. We're getting dissatisfied with our hair. Our nose is shaped. We're getting dissatisfied. If I was God and I gave you everything that you have and you go and change it, I'm not going to add anything else to what I've given you. I would not, because the little that I gave you, you couldn't even take care of it. So why should I give you more? So imagine God gave us beautiful hair. God gave us beautiful skin. God gave us everything that he thought would make you who you are. You can't blame your mom and dad for them falling in love and having sex and having you. I know a lot of my African brothers and sisters that are bleaching their skin, eating the wrong foods, laying with the wrong people. And then they wash their hands off, hold your Bible, and go to church. You don't think we see you? If I don't see you, the universe sees you, and the universe is hearing you. The universe is everything. The universe is you. So as you yourself is in the presence of yourself doing the things that you're doing, remember that you were made out of dirt. And the dirt that you were made out of feels everything, feels all the wrongs that you do. Some people wash their hands of their sins. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that. But all I'm saying is, in order for you to connect your spirituality to the higher, to God himself or herself, you have to be able to respect the being, the body that God gave you. And in respecting the body that God gave you, I'm telling you, yes, sometimes we want to add things to what we got. Okay? But if you want to gratify God, you don't change who you are. Okay? You don't change your skin color. You don't change your hair, because you're not gratifying God when you say, oh, I'm going to do this to my hair and I'm going to do that to my skin. I'm going to make sure that my complexion is even. You don't think God knew what he was doing when he made you, how he made you? Well, guess what? If you don't think so, when it's time for you to answer the questions in anywhere, it could be earth, it could be heaven, it can be in another spiritual realm, be ready to answer them right and answer them confidently, because everything we are doing, all the pain, the sorrow, the trial, the tribulations, it is for you to be a testimony to somebody else. I am saying this out of my own experience, okay? I was once that girl who did not give a damn what people thought. And now I have changed from that girl who didn't give a damn what people thought to give a damn about myself. I give a damn about, I could care less what anybody thinks of me, but I want it to be positive. And I don't want it to be negative. And if anybody's watching the video and they feel any negativity towards me, please inbox me, reach out to me, let's talk face to face. You will come to find out that whatever you heard about me or whatever somebody else told you about me is because that person don't even know me. Okay, so today's topic was about the difference between energy and spirit. And we got to understand that there are many forms of energy out there. The energy you choose to associate yourself with is the energy that is going to possess you. The spirit is only two kinds, two forms. There's a good spirit and a bad spirit. You can only choose one spirit. But the rest of the other spirits, like the demonic spirits, the other spirits, is us. It's you that leave yourself open for this spirit to possess you. And sometimes people know your weakness just by the consumption of food you eat and the words that you speak onto your own life. People know your weakness. If somebody is a friend, they have studied you, they know. Okay, and most of the time your weakest state is when you're sleeping. That is when these entities or these spirits try to come and look for a body to use. And when a spirit possesses you, I'm telling you, they don't stop until they're done using you. They don't stop. So be very careful what you eat. Be very careful what you drink. Alcohol is a spirit. Okay? And that will be another topic on its own. But there's a lot of spirituality in the food that we eat. So be careful of what you eat, how you eat, when you eat, and who you eat it with. Be very careful. Be very careful. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I know today's topic is I'm very passionate about what I'm doing. I don't care who wants to judge me based on what I choose to talk about. And I don't care what people have to say about the topics that I'm discussing. But I'm talking this way because I am on this electric journey to keep my body alkaline and keep me away from getting stupid diseases and stupid colds and just dumb things. When I know the Creator has created fruits, vegetables, seeds, and all kinds of things with healing powers to keep me from getting sick, I'm going to eat the right foods. So if you want to join me on my alkaline journey, simply follow me on Safi Alkaline Juice Bar. And it's on Facebook. I am constantly sharing videos, sharing my recipes of foods that I'm eating. And if you do not know how you can get started with this alkaline journey, simply message me and I'll be more than happy to share my journey and the beginning of my journey with you. I love you guys for tuning in and listening to me. And if you have any topic that you feel I should touch on, please feel free to inbox me and I'll be more than happy to touch on the subject. So everybody that tuned in, the topic was the difference between energy and spirit. So be careful of the energy you draw to yourself and be careful of the spirits that you open yourselves up to. Everybody have a wonderful evening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Tune in tomorrow as we touched on a different topic.